Hey YouTube, Sign here, back with another video, and today's video is going to be a precursor to my Jane Doe guide. The reason for this video is one, I'm a little bit behind on the guide video. It's taking a little bit longer, I do apologize. Between work and me trying to do a lot of different things, it's been a little bit hectic, and I do plan on releasing it before she comes out so you guys can have the most up-to-date information on how to build her. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk about her engine. I thought it would be a good talking point for its own video like I did with Zhu-Yuan and Ellen, so you guys can just go into the banner knowing if it's going to be a worthwhile pull for you and if you should pull or just skip the engine altogether and stick to other free-to-play options. Now, in the background, you might notice that now I have gameplay. I do have access to the creator server, and I thought the best way for you guys to be the most informed is to show you the damage difference between each engine. So I took the time and I did every single engine option at their I don't even know what they're called at this point. I forgot to add this little disclaimer, but all the footage in the background will be off the creator experience server. If there's any changes from the official release, I'll let you guys know immediately, but there should be no real big changes. So I did look in game to get an idea of the name, and I still don't know it. So if you know the name, let me know in the comments down below. And while you're there, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. I do want to do this type of video for each upcoming character, so you have the most information. You can see the damage difference between each engine. And speaking of engines, you can see that I have a R5 and a R1, so you can get a good grasp on the scaling of how much it does at the lowest level and the highest level for each actual engine in the game. Yes, I'll be doing all S ranks and all A ranks. I don't know about B ranks yet. Let me know in the comments down below. Now, for the setup you see here, the setup is very simple. We go with Grace to apply Anomaly, to at least build it up quite a bit. Rena finishes it off to apply the shock, and then we swap into Jane and let Jane do a couple of combos to get a good assault in there, and as you can see the damage jump up after the assault. Now, one thing you may notice is that I have Rena in there for a little bit longer than normal because I do get access to her quick assist early on. Now, if you watch my video on energy, and not energy, but it was a combat guide, I was talking about Anomaly having trigger points. Now, one thing about Rena, if you swap in too early, you will not get shock to proc. You need Rena to be on field for the shock to actually on the final hit of her EX special attack. This is very important because you lose a lot of damage if you don't apply the Anomaly and you swap to Jane immediately. You can see here in this video, I show you what happens when you do it the wrong way, and then in the actual test, I'll show you how it looks normally. It's annoying that you have to keep her in battle for so long, but if you're trying to apply shock with her, that's the goal. Unfortunately, you have to keep her in there for that shock to actually apply. Now, let's talk about the actual point of the video, which is going to be Jane Doe's engine. Her engine is going to be called Sharpened Stinger. If you don't know what it does, upon activating a dash attack, gain 1 stack of Predatory Instinct. Each stack of Predatory Instinct increases the equipper's physical damage by 12% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 3 times for a total of 36%. This effect can trigger once every 5 seconds, 0.5 seconds, and repeated triggers reset the duration. Now, the big thing about this one is that when you enter combat or trigger a perfect dodge, she'll gain 3 stacks of Predatory Instinct, instantly maxing it out. So the real way of using her is to use perfect dodges, not really dash attack. Dash attack is not that great. Your most viable way of doing this consistently is via your perfect dodge or when you enter combat. And while Predatory Instinct is at the maximum, the Equipper Anomaly buildup rate is increased by 40%. Now, you would think this is a big deal, but it's not. You can look at the gameplay, you'll notice that each and every single engine all get the exact same amount of buildup rate. It's because of the trigger I talked about in my combat guide. The trigger really does hurt this a little bit. I don't know the most optimal amount where you'll get the most value for the amount of buildup rate right now. That still needs to be tested on, but if anyone does know that, let me know in the comments down below. But I don't know it exactly at this point, but you can see through each and every single test, it ends at the exact same amount of buildup rate, which is about half the bar. So that is something where the Anomaly buildup rate probably helps a lot longer in extremely long fights. But most fights now, if you guys have been playing this game, they don't last too long. On average, maybe about a minute, 2 minutes at max. The fights aren't too long. I do expect it to change with time and we get more and harder content. But right now, they kind of just explode very quickly. It's kind of unfortunate. Now, the next thing we have to talk about is what do we expect for the rate ups for her Wenjin banner, which are going to be 2. One Wenjin going to be the Seth Wenjin, which is Peacekeeper Specialized, top of my head. And then the second Wenjin is going to be Damari Mark II, which is Ambi's. The biggest thing here is Seth Wenjin. Seth is a defensive character, meaning that his Wenjin options aren't that great right now because there's not too many defense Wenjins in the game, and most of them aren't even benefiting him in particular. When you're looking at Seth's Wenjins, there's really only 2, which is his Bunny Band, and then the second being his special signature one, the Peacekeeper Specialized. And it's a pretty drastic difference between each. So I don't have that in this video in particular. Seth will get his own guide video eventually, but if you're playing with Seth, I would highly recommend at least doing a 10 pull on this banner to attempt to get Seth's Wenjin. Seth Wenjin is the one real reason to pull this banner in my opinion. So if you're planning on using Seth as an Anomaly builder for your team, I would highly recommend you get Seth's Wenjin. So that gets that out the way. In terms of for Jane Doe herself, her Wenjin options aren't going to be nearly as scarce. So she does have a lot of good options. If you have Fusion Compiler, honestly, I don't think you really need to pull for Sharpened Stinger. Sharpened Stinger is the better option by far, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's, you don't have to go out of your way. The damage difference isn't going to be so big that you have to go spend upwards to 140 pulls. Keep in mind that you can miss the 75%. It's not guaranteed. It's something that people always forget, that you're taking a chance on these Wenjins. Same thing with characters, right? Characters are a little bit more okay because maybe you miss this character and you get someone you like I don't know, Lycon or something, right? With Wenjin, it's much harder because, people don't get the same amount of enthusiasm when they miss a Wenjin rate up because the rate is usually higher, so you get a lot more irritated. So it's something you have to factor in. It's just how we are as people, right? So I have all the numbers there. I don't have a chart yet. The charts will come out with Jane Doe's guide. I just have it showed in a way so you guys can see all the damage difference. I know it's very improvised. I just thought about doing this video last minute. I was actually not going to originally do this video, but it is what it is. I ended up doing it regardless. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. I'm still doing more testing with her before I release the guide, so it's going to come out hopefully before the weekend. I'm looking before the weekend, so maybe Friday, Saturday, but I'll let you guys know via the the community tab, how my progress is going. I do plan on doing a Seth guide as well, so it's a lot of videos I plan on doing. Hopefully you guys support me and you watch my videos and share them. But thank you for watching. I'll catch you in my next video. If you're looking for a guide, here is a Chingy guide if you have her, if you want to build her up. And then here is going to be a Grace video if you plan on running her with Jane Doe. Thank you. I'll catch you in my next video. Later.